Hello everybody, Narrator Thog here. I'll be taking the reins for this episode given Building Thog's need for focus. Before we begin, I'd like to briefly announce I will be changing my uploads to Fridays and Sundays rather than Tuesdays and Thursdays to see how things go. Other than that, things are business as usual. I started off the day by checking my mailbox and found a new note from Mr. Fitzgerald's, which read, "Mr. Thog, congratulations on your progress in the town. I now ask that you create an ironsmith for tools and armor. If you do so, I will authorize the proper permits accordingly." Luckily, I had been thinking about a project like this and had some materials already ready. I wanted to create a home that had the forge attached, similar to how old villages spawned with their smiths. I started on the home area of the build and continued using our pallet from before. When I finished the roof, however, I had a feeling that this wasn't quite what I wanted. With that, I notified Mr. Fitzgerald that this could be a home for a resident in the town and moved on to a new plot of land to start the ironsmith. I extended the road and laid out the foundations. I wanted to create more of a stone structure so that it would pop out against the town and really give a blacksmith aesthetic. I decided to use smooth stone, cobble, and andesite as a palette rather than the normal one I had been using to make this happen. I didn't want to have a building without the jungle wood though, so I incorporated it using the frame and the roof. When I had finished the roof, I decided to add a chimney where the smoke from the forge could come out. I went inside and connected the chimney to the small forge. I thought about putting lava in the forge, but ended up deciding fire would be a better alternative here for a forge of this size. With no netherrack though, we'd have to leave it up to the ironsmith to keep the fires lit. I then added some windows for texture. I thought about dyeing them black from soot or brown from debris, but decided that this ironsmith would be very good about cleaning his windows, and I think it turned out nice. When I was happy with the condition the exterior was in, I began to work on the interior. I know you're thinking that someone has replaced me with all this interior designing I'm doing, but don't worry, that will change later. Anyway, I textured the floor using stone bricks and other items from the build palette and started furnishing things. I made a workstation and a small furnace where the ironsmith could do smaller work when he didn't need the forge. I then moved our anvil. By town rule, we technically shouldn't have had it, but it's fine. And with that, finished the interior of the smith. When I finished the smith, I moved to create the smith's home. I had deviated from the original plan of having the buildings connected, but creating separate buildings ended up making the town feel more alive and full. I tried my best to replicate the design from the small home I made earlier, but I wanted to give the smith a little more room for all the things he would be doing for our town, so I extended the build out a little bit. Now, I don't want to scare you with what I say next, but I proceeded to furnish both the smith's house and the other small home I had made. You may be expecting the next part of this video to be me gathering villagers, but I was feeling inspired and had one more project I needed to build. You see, even if Mel and I have had our ups and downs, he is still my friend, and with everything he's been through, he deserves a proper home. So many buildings in one episode. By the time I had finished Mel's building, I was super happy with how it turned out. You may have noticed I deviated from our palette a little bit with this build. That is because I'm planning on creating a new district in this area. That, however, is for another episode. While the exterior of Mel's was finished, I returned to my roots and left the interior bare. Next time, I will go through and make sure Mel has a comfortable living space. I definitely won't forget, like, a certain building that remains 90% unfinished. Anyway, thank you everybody for your continued support of these videos. It goes a long way. We will be back again soon with more, so stay tuned and thanks for watching. Peace!